Hi, this is Eddie Hearn, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is FAISAL Khan for Lights Out, and with me via Zoom, I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Marcus Morrison. Marcus, how's it going, mate?
I'm well, mate. Good. Just finished another session of the day, so yeah, I'm good.
Thank you very much for taking your time out to join us. Let's just jump straight into it because on May the 1st, you'll be taking on Eubank Jnr. I just want to obviously go right into the deep end here, Marcus, and ask you: is this the biggest fight of your career for you?
1,000,000%, hands down, biggest fight to date. Yeah, by a country mile.
The last few weeks, the news broke to us that Eubank had signed with the Sauerlands, and there was a lot of talk about a potential fight with the likes of Kell Brook, perhaps maybe even the Charlos. There's a few other names thrown into the hat, but you are the guy that will take him on May the 1st on what's a very exciting card. The likes of Natasha Jonas, Katie Taylor, Derek Chisrod, and Joseph Parker obviously be on that card as well. How did you manage to sort of get the fight in the end with Eubank Jr.?
Listen, it wasn't something we were looking for. It was a big shock to me. Got a phone call from my manager and trainer Joe, and yeah, it was a massive shock. And Joe put the fight to me, and I snatched her hand off. There's not many people that would turn that fight down. People, boxers, go through careers and want to test themselves against the best, and I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to go and do that at this stage of my career as well.
You've had 26 fights, you've won 23 of those, 16 knockouts on your record. What makes you think that now is the right time to be fighting someone like Eubank Jr.? And a lot of people will say Marcus Morrison, it's a big step up for him. What attributes do you bring into the fight when you take on Eubank Jr.?
Yeah, obviously going into the fight, a massive underdog. I'm in their eyes a stepping stone and a warm-up tick over, if you like, for something bigger. Probably summertime. But you can't take me as a stepping stone or as a warm-up. Anything can happen in boxing, and yeah, I feel like they're looking at me as a warm-up, stylistically wise, for possibly a Kell Brook. A lot throughout my career, my style's been compared to Kell Brook, so I don't know whether they're thinking, we'll get Morrison in first, and see how the Brook fight plans out in summertime.
As you just said, some people will look at you as a stepping stone for that Kell Brook fight. But does that sort of suit you, where you're sort of going into this fight with less pressure on yourself, and the fact that they might even slightly be overlooking you towards that Kell Brook fight?
That's fine by me. I'm not. It's no skin off mine. I don't lose sleep, but I'm, being looked over. It doesn't bother me at all going in as an underdog. If anything, you take your eye off the ball. Things can happen in boxing, and you can't do it. You can't look past your next opponent. I've been guilty of it in the past, and yeah, so there's no pressure on me at all. I don't feel no pressure. I'm super excited for this fight. Can't wait for, the build up, and come fight night. The massive amount of pressures on Eubank. Eubank is being brought back after, I don't know how long, he's had a long time out the ring. So this is his homecoming, if you like, and I'm here to spoil the party.
As you just said, Eubank's been at the ring for quite a while. Also, yourself has as well. You've been quite inactive. I don't know whether that's down to the pandemic or the fact that we're just sort of like slowly, hopefully within the next few weeks, coming back to some sort of normality. So is this fight the perfect fight because due to the fact that you've both been so inactive, and it makes more sense for this fight to be made now?
Yeah, look, in an ideal world, I'd like to have had, at least a couple of fights throughout, the last 12 months through through lockdown and stuff like that. But you know, it's been like that for a lot of boxers, and there's not been many fighters that have had the opportunity to fight throughout the pandemic. You know, obviously Eubank's been out the ring a long time as well, so I'm sure he's been in training, as have I. You know, we've been sparring, staying fit. I think as fighters, you know, as a professional fighter, you've got to do that. You can't think, oh, you know, I'm not fighting for a while. I'll have a few weeks out of the gym or whatever. You can't do that as a professional fighter at the top level. You've got to stay active, stay in the gym. You know, even if you're not fighting, you've got to keep ticking over in the gym and learning as well. You know, it's not about just staying fit; it's learning and, you know, adding new strings to your bow and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll be prepared. You know, I believe he's been in the gym, and from what I see, he's been active and sparring in the gym and whatnot. So, you know, you can't look too much into that, I don't think.
A lot of people look at Chris Eubank Jr., especially the way he performs. Some say, you know, he wears his heart on his sleeve and he goes all in when he fights. And some people say that he lacks certain basics in boxing. When you look at Chris Eubank Jr., and he's fought the likes of Billy Joe Saunders, George Groves, James DeGale, he's been in there with some big credible names. What's your overall assessment of Chris Eubank Jr. as a fighter?
I think Chris Eubank's, you know, a very good fighter, you know, towards the top level, the very top level. So I'm excited to go in there, you know, and see how good I am. And I believe that, you know, I'll hold my own in there. And, you know, there'll be times in the fight where, you know, fireworks will be let off, and, you know, some big shots will be landed from probably both sides. And, you know, I'm ready for that. And I think, you know, looking back at Chris's previous fights, obviously you look to the Billy Joe Saunders and the George Groves fight to see where he came up short. And obviously that was both against boxers. You know, it's no secret that, you know, Eubank loves a fight, and if you stand in front of him for, you know, the majority of the fight, that suits him. So obviously I'm not going to go into too much, you know, game plan and whatnot, but, you know, we'll have a very, very good game plan going into the fight, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
He's been training with Roy Jones Jr. over the last however many months. There's obviously quite a few rumours circulating that he's sort of changed his style in the ring. But what Chris Eubank Jr. are you expecting come May the 1st?
Yeah, I think he's definitely gone to a trainer like Roy Jones to try and work on his boxing ability, because, like you said, he's often been criticised and come up short due to his boxing ability. You know, so I'm guessing he's been working on that. We'll see on the night. I don't know. I've seen a few clips. He looks to be working on his boxing ability. So, you know, I don't think you can. Eubank will stop doing what he's always done, coming forward, the pressure. But, you know, he might try and box a bit more. We'll see. But only time will tell. We've only got a few weeks to wait.
And in terms of your training camp preparation for the fight, how's your preparation going in towards this fight? You know, how's things going for you and looking for you right now? Are you in the best shape of your career?
Yeah, luckily, like I said before, as professionals, you've got to stay in the gym. And, you know, if I hadn't have done that, and, you know, I'd just got back in the gym thinking, oh, lockdown's coming to an end soon, you know, I might have only had 3 or 4 weeks training. It wouldn't have been possible for me to take this fight, really, because, you know, you'd have been going in there without a chance. But for me, I stayed in the gym because I always knew something was going to come up. Truthfully, didn't think it'd be this big, but, you know, opportunity knocks, and yeah, we opened the door to it. And it's a massive fight, and I know, you know, it's a huge fight for me. This, you know, I get past this fight, and this, you know, opens doors for, you know, world opportunities. So I feel prepared. I've been in the gym a long time, sparring, staying fit, learning. And, you know, we've got 5 weeks now to prepare properly, watch Eubank come up with a game plan. And I think come fight night, we'll be as ready as we'll ever be.
again, I have to go back to what I just said previously in the interview. A win for Eubank Jr. They looking at the likes of Kell Brook, maybe even a Golovkin or the Charlos. But what does a win do for Marcus Knight and Morrison on May the 1st over Chris Eubank Jr.? Where does that take you to the next step of your career? And what do you expect to happen if you can beat Chris Eubank Jr. come May 1st?
Eubank is a massive name. Very high, obviously, he holds the IBO at super middle. And, he's in the top few in the world. A lot of people would rank him in the top few with a lot of the best at middleweight, super middle. And obviously with the names he's been calling out, your Canelos, your Golovkins, I go in there and, upset the party. It throws me right in the mix for, well, where he's at. But I can't be looking at past that. I need to get through this fight, and and then we'll obviously it'll be a big upset on the cards. But it's something that I believe I can do. I do believe I can do.
Marcus, tell us what's going to happen on fight night. What's your prediction? What can the fans expect to see from you on fight night, and how does the fight end?
I think, look, if you look at Eubank's fights of the past, he's got in there with people and they've not really wanted to have a good goal. They've sort of tried to survive. They tried to get through the rounds. I'm not going there May the 1st to make up the numbers or not have a good goal. So trust me, expect me to be having a good goal. And Eubank can punch, so can I. So at some point in that fight, there's going to be some bombs through, and not just from Eubank. I'll be letting my hands go as well, and we'll see what happens. That's all I can say. We'll see what happens, because when you get two powerful fighters that can punch and are willing to let their hands go, it makes for an exciting fight, and I can't wait.
We're really, really looking forward to seeing this fight. I'm going to move you away now from Chris Eubank Jr. because I suppose all you've done since the news broke to us is interviews, and there's been a lot of talk about obviously the Eubank fight. So let's just move away. Let's ask you for a few predictions. Saturday night, White Povetkin 2. What's your prediction for that fight?
White stoppage.
And eventually, when it does happen, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
Listen, Joshua can whack and can finish any fight at any point in a fight, but I'm going with a Fury stoppage as well.
Very interesting predictions, and I appreciate you giving us your thoughts on that. Right, Marcus, from myself, I wish you the best of luck for May the 1st. Really looking forward to seeing it. And I hope training camp is going well. I hope preparation is going well for the fight. And as a diehard boxing fan, I'm really looking forward to seeing you get in the ring, and I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. And yeah, thank you very much for your time. I'll let you carry on with the rest of your evening, and I hope to catch up with you during fight week for this fight.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you very much, Marcus. And once again, good luck, all the best. And thank you very much for talking to Lights Out, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Bye-bye.